right, so if you double click on that, I'm sorry, if you right click on that, you can tap tempo. And that's how that got set. Not sure why that didn't show up on the video here, but so I got it set to 60. I'll just pick any drum loop, any random loop. Okay, if you hold shift and click on that track, it'll make all of them, it'll highlight all of them. That's why they're red. And then you can hold, what is it? I believe it's shift and left click and drag it over and drop them. Kind of a copy and paste kind of thing. That saves time. I'm on a little paintbrush. That's why I was able to just paint about half of those over. All right, F9 gets you to this mixer board. If you hold shift when your mouse is over a certain track and you scroll with your mouse wheel, it'll move that track forward or backwards. So that's how I moved that drum loop to track 1. So let's see here. Yeah, there we go. See how that just came up as RGFX? For some reason, it's not picking up the little pop-up windows that pop up. But anyway, if you hold shift and then, is it shift? Yeah, I think it's shift and click one of those. It'll let you rename and color it. I always do RG for rhythm guitar, LG for lead guitar, you know, that kind of thing. So over here, we just make sure the RG is the one with it's got no effects over there in the, you know, effects rack or whatever you want to call that. And then in 1 is where it's going through. I've got mine going through like a Behringer preamp. And all the effects are routed from this channel over to from 3 to 2, and then from 2 to the master. That way I can record a clean channel and I can always go back later and change the effects however I want to, you know. So I'm just listening right here. Also, I look mad in the picture, but I'm not. I'm just super tired. I work nights and a lot of times, so anyway. All right, so now we put the record on. I put that little 3.2, that's kind of a countdown. And here. Slightly up on the volume there, trying to, you know, just make dynamics in the song. Okay, so that's honestly enough, and I'll show you how you can cut this real quick, and then let's make sure that's off. We need to first align the track to the drums because there's a latency, so it'll be slightly too fast. Typically you have to move it over something. There you go. So once it's highlighted, you can hold control, I believe it is, and scroll on your mouse and it'll move it left or right. No, I'm wrong. It was shift. If you hold shift and move it over, it'll work like that. Okay, so anyway, so now I'm just fading in the front, so it's not such an abrupt start, because that always sounds like trash if you do that. So, all right, just kind of aligning those two together. Oh, I see where I messed up that a little bit. Anyway, that'll cause some issues here in a little while, but we'll deal with that later. Just for the sake of the video, I would say honestly, if you're just gonna do a video, I was just trying to show a way to like cut and paste, but I always hate doing that. I feel like it kind of takes away from the feeling of the song, makes it a little too robotic anyway. I would just play all the way through. If you're gonna have whatever it is, 90 bars or whatever, however far, 65 bars it looks like, or whatever this is, blocks, then just play the whole thing through, you know. If you mess up, that's one thing. You can cut and paste that one little section, which again, you know, try to get it all in one take, but if you can't, then just do one little section. But cutting and pasting like this, it's real easy to get to lose what you're doing and change. Like I think the timing is off on it, just based on what we were looking at there. But anyway, so now we've got the rhythm down, the rhythm guitar. Now we're going to need a lead guitar. So here's the lead effects track, and then here's the lead guitar effects, and this one will just say LG for lead guitar. Just made it a different color, like white. Also, when I was done with the rhythm guitar, done recording that, over there where the effects stuff is, you put right here where I'm putting the input to in one. On that other one, change it back to none. Only have one of those open at once, just so you don't have any mistakes or anything like that. So, and then we need to go here to, yeah, sorry about this. I have a pre-made with all these effects in here, but whenever you do that, once it's saved like that, then you have to rename it and all that. So, all right, so now I'm just gonna put some overdrive on. I'll show you. I can hear a bunch of fuzz in there I don't like. Excuse me. So we'll back the drive off just a tad and figure out where it's coming from. I would assume it's this compressor. So we're gonna turn that off, and that seems to have fixed it. Okay, so that's all good. We can even pump that back up just a smidge. It's a technical term. And everything should be good. Make sure that's on. Just doing some kind of swells, you know, just to. And in fact, I think most of these get cut out anyway, but at the end. But yeah, so more or less just layering it, you know. There's a ton of other stuff you can do to, you know, if you're going to have like vocals and, you know, a chorus and main verses and that kind of thing, labeling where it's going to be, all that. But for this video, I just wanted to show that, you know, if you're just going to make like a quick little, let's say you just want to make some music to go in the background of a video you're making or something, you know, in under 30 minutes, you can have a pretty decent song here. So. So I don't know if you've noticed, but I've got the drums down quite a bit. I always kind of turn everything else down just a little so I can In fact, I think, yeah, that's what I'm doing here. I'm getting ready to drop that volume down just so I can hear the what I'm actually recording a little bit better. We'll add some delay. This window showed up. I don't know why the other ones didn't. And the beauty of this, like I said, is that I can always go in afterward and change this, the levels of these effects and all that, what effects are on or off or whatever. All of that is after the recording, That's why I always use 2 channels, one clean one to go into the effects channel, over to at least 2. Sometimes I'll do more if I'm going to split stereo signals and stuff like that. It all just depends on how much time you want to spend on it. You can overproduce a song, but, short of doing that, you can really, really do quite a bit to clean songs up and stuff like that. So, but like I said, this is just a quick, kind of just show you a quick way to just get something down real quick. Let's say you have an idea you just want to share with the band, give them something to work with so that by the time you guys have the next rehearsal or whatever, you can all kind of already be on the same page and speed things up. Could cut this video, but I kind of want to just show you the whole. I'm not doing any cuts in this one. I'm just going to play it all the way through so you can see, like, I'm not doing any shady stuff or whatever. Like, you can legit do all of this in like 30 minutes, So there, that's the end of the song there. So now that we've done all that, we're going to have to add bass. I mean, you definitely need a bass channel. So I'll show you a way to do bass with your guitar. You don't have to, again, I'm just holding shift or control, whichever one it is, and then you just scroll over and it moves it over. But for this, I'm just going to I think I make an extra channel here and it says bass if I remember right. Okay, so anyway. So over here, what we're going to do to make this bass channel, I'm going to use my actual guitar for that. So I want to bring the levels of the rhythm guitar up a little bit just so I can hear the chord changes. I'm going to bring the lead down because that's not my main focus right now. I got to be able to hear the beat and the rhythm section, or rhythm guitar. And here I make a mistake. I'm like, why am I not hearing anything? Because you need to go over to this channel and make sure that the input is set to 1 there. There we go. Now we actually have signal. And in fact, it's probably going to be too weak, so I need to add, I'll over here go to Maximus and then add a Clear Master is usually like the one I'll go with there. Okay, and then up here we can add Sound Goodizer as kind of a booster, really, is what we'll do. Again, I'm not sure why it's not showing those menus, but that's all I'm doing. It's just adding Sound Goodizer and Maximus. All right, now let's try this again. So anyway, we just do this whole bass line all the way through. I'm gonna play it all the way through, like I should have done with the rhythm guitar in the first place, but whatever. I just did that to show you can. Yeah, I mean, you can do it that way. But like I said, I prefer, even though it's way more time consuming, I believe that time is worth it. Spent on that is time worth it, because it just makes it more human, you know, a little less produced. Also, I've always been pretty big on, if it's not something you can do live, you shouldn't do it in the studio either. You know what I mean? I mean, there's exceptions to that, but if you're, you know, obviously if you're making a bunch of electronic music, that's clearly not, you know, not the case. But if it's something you're gonna do with a band, it's like, you know, a rock band or blues or something, or, you know, whatever, that kind of music especially, you really want to be able to recreate whatever you're doing for the fans, because they're going to expect to hear it. You know what I mean? Yeah, see, you can hear it there, how the somehow that got off or whatever. So that's the risk you run if you're gonna do the you know, mix them like that, cut it up or whatever, and just do sections at a time. Trick to make this, right now it doesn't sound, you know, we'll make the guitar sound like the bass, it doesn't currently, so obviously. So now we've got that pretty much all the way done. So now there's a few things to do here. So we gotta, again, like I said, the latency issue, and we never fixed that on the lead track, I noticed while I was laying the bass down. So we'll just highlight them both by holding control and then clicking and dragging with your right mouse in an open area over the two channels we want. Now I'm gonna hold control or shift, whichever one does it. When you scroll the mouse wheel, moves the thing to the left or right. Just kind of center it up on what I believe is gonna be in perfect time there. Okay, and then once you have that done, now we can go so yeah, now we'll double click this here. Should be what I'm doing next, I think. Yeah, all right. And we'll go over to pitch and drag it all the way down, which is essentially 1 octave. And that will drop it way down to make it sound a lot more like a like a bass. So I'm going to add a compressor, and on the preset we'll just go with Fast Master, kind of level things out. So now I've got Sound Goodizer for a boost, and then we can level it out with the compressor and compress them all kind of, and then Maximus. That's, oh yeah, and this is super important. On pretty much every channel you have to run parametric EQ. So I'm just going to drop out some of that sub bass. We don't really need too much of that, you know. Take out most of the highs. That's the, you know, I could really probably do more, but I'm not gonna. All right, so on the rhythm guitar, same thing over here. We need to get rid of a lot of that bass. That's not, we already have a bass now, so let's drop off quite a bit of that there. Take off some of those highs. I don't want it to cut through like the lead should. So we'll leave the highs in the lead. Again, take this out. We probably should have taken more bass out on the lead, but I don't know. I like having, especially with just a bass, a guitar, a lead guitar, and drums, you know, I mean, I have room to let it be a little bit fuller than you normally would. Now for the drums, we're going to take out some of that sub, but I do like those to keep the kicks kind of punchy. So we'll leave that down there just a tad, bring up the volume. Also, you can use these, you know, I mean, you can use the visual indicators right there in the windows on these channels to see the levels. You know, you want them to all be fairly, you know, similar for the most part. Yeah, I felt like the drums were just a bit too dry and robotic. It's the kind of stuff you can do with like automation clips on Grossbeat and that kind of deal for drum fills, but right here I just added some natural kind of reverb, and it's actually fairly decent right out the gate. There's not too much I would do to it. I boosted that a tad and it was too much, so I tried this one over here and it's not as bad. I couldn't really hear that this made any difference at all, so I left the EQ button alone, but I think that sounds pretty good. Now let's make the intro a tad more dynamic. I don't like how the bass just comes in like that. We don't really want that there. I think the bass should probably come in when the drums do. So we'll scroll in, zoom in, whatever. There we go. So like right there, that note right there. So we're gonna zoom in here. Okay. And then right click over there just to make sure that we'll soften that entry just a pinch there. This thing, yeah, we need to do the same over here. I don't want that stuff coming in. I don't want anything being loud at the beginning. And then we'll also do a master volume automation clip, but might as well drop these as well. Obviously, the rhythm guitar needs to come up quite a bit, I feel like. You want that to be above it, but not like piercing, you know? I'd say that's pretty good. You gotta leave a little bit of room for dynamics, you know? Stereo. We're gonna do the same with the rhythm here. I'm actually gonna do, I believe Pancake is the one I go with on this one. Yep. So that's kind of a cool thing. It's like an auto, I don't know how to, it just basically automatically pans left and right for you at whatever intervals you decide. Rhythm, interval, however you want to word that. And I dropped some of it out. I don't leave the whole thing in there. I don't want it to be completely left or right, just a little bit. I still want a little bit bled through mono. You know what I mean? Or on both sides, I guess, at the same time. Anyway. So yeah, so that's all good there. Now we'll do a master volume automation clip. I just right-clicked on it, go to create automation clip. Now if you right-click there, you can copy the value, or you can see up in this bar up here, it says 80% when you mouse over it. So just pay attention to that. So since I've copied it, now I can right-click and that'll add a little node there. And then you can go to that node, like right-click on it and say paste, and it'll paste that 80% volume or whatever volume you copied. That's really useful if you want to keep volume the same across the track. I think I'm gonna get rid of that part. It just seemed out of place. Oh, here, so I was gonna show that if you use if you type C, it's this cutting tool. And if you do like a normal left click with the blue line, it cuts it and leaves both of them. If you do it with the red line, with your right click, it will get rid of whatever the shorter of the two pieces are. It'll just delete it. So just one extra little time saver step there. Okay, so we just dragged down the last node there to I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with these drums. So instead of doing like a fill on the way out or something, I'm just gonna let them fade out. Fade almost all this stuff out, let kind of the reverb tail trail off with the master volume being dropped. Seems kind of abrupt, but it'll work for what it is, for this video purpose here. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. We'll probably should do the master volume intro section here. So to do that, we'll zoom back in, go somewhere wherever you want it to be like full volume by. So there, drop that down. I'll probably add another one here. That way I can pull that down and then smooth out that curve a little. There we go. But yeah, so if you're just trying to, have a song that, you could use it for like a YouTube video or anything like that. I mean, it doesn't have to be like the highest production quality and all. I mean, this is absolutely adequate for just background music on a YouTube video or something like that, So anyway, hopefully this is helpful. It's like I said, you can run the gamut. You can go full tilt, professional production quality if you want. But this video was more just to show like you can quickly get a pretty decent sounding song, really quickly, and kind of more on the beginner side of using FL. So I just want to get people into using it and without being intimidated, feeling like it's too complicated. It's not. You just start and days turn into weeks, turn into months, and a couple of years later, you're pretty proficient with it, So anyway, all right, hope this helps.